Hi, my name is Colbert and let's start with Horizon Zero Dawn Complete. This is one of the most famous and one of the best action RPG games set in an open world released in the past few years. You will step in the boots of a ginger girl who will deal with anyone very painfully if you look at her in a funny way, and it seems that most of the Horizon Zero population has something against her, so, they die. Although this game is like Witcher, but for younger or, less brutal audience, because it has somewhat similar battle mechanics, open world full of monsters, many dialogues, third-person view and so on, but here you will not find any gore, twisted, creepy quests, splattering blood fountains or, boobs. A ginger girl will never show you what she's hiding, here you will get no love affairs, no hot scenes by the waterfall, just robot dinosaurs and indigenous people. I played about 30 hours of this game 2 years ago on my PlayStation. I had a great time but never finished it because I got bored in the end, and now I can't remember even one character in this game, except of course the main girl. That is not a good sign, but in general the world of Horizon Zero and the fight mechanics are great, and this price is more than right. I remember paying 60 euros for it, and to be fair, I was happy with my purchase. The Outer Worlds. If you like Bethesda's Elder Scrolls or Fallout series, this game should catch your attention, because it's basically Fallout in space. Don't listen to anyone who says otherwise. I played it twice and I can assure you that if it was called Fallout: The Outer Worlds, nobody would ever complain. Also, it's made by the same guys who created Fallout New Vegas, so they just copied and pasted all their knowledge to the Outer Worlds. Game is filled with petty humor, powerful guns, interesting monsters, and beautiful landscapes. Missions are really cool and the characters are interesting as well, but when you play it you can almost smell the lack of budget, because certain areas are really small and mountains block your way all the time everywhere you go. It was being made from a grand idea based on Skyrim in space, like Starfield is now, but with a budget slightly bigger than the indie game. Despite that, The Outer Worlds is one of the best games I have played in the last decade. Age of Darkness: Final Stand. Since that StarCraft mission I played in 1998, where you have to hold your base intact against never-ending Zerg attack, this concept landed in a warm place of my cold heart. Later I have played countless maps like that on StarCraft 2, and then They Are Billions was released. I enjoyed the game, but I was disappointed as well because it lacked unit types and was kinda repetitive. But Age of Darkness is a bit different. It has very positive reviews on Steam, technology allowing 70,000 swarming AI units on screen at the same time, day and night transitions, and more defensive unit types than They Are Billions had. That sounds nice, but we all know how this gameplay will go for you. At first you will be like,
"Hey, I'm so awesome, I beat the crappy out of monsters."
And just a few moments later you will be like,
"Oh no, my buildings, they are all burning, what happened?"
yeah. Guedonia. I doubt that you have ever heard about this one. This is an open-world role-playing game inspired by old-school classics. Here you can become a simple traveler and adventure seeker, explore the huge world, progress your character in any way you want, discover hidden treasures, mysteries, and fight a vast array of enemies. You will have a complete freedom of building a character in any way. You can be a powerful mage, strong warrior, agile assassin, charismatic leader, skillful crafter, or penis wizard. Okay, I'll be honest, they forgot to implement the last one. What a shame. Also in Guedonia you will have your own house where you can grow plants and farm animals. They sort of implemented Stardew Valley inside this fighting and exploration RPG game. That is great. We all need some relaxation after a tiring dungeon exploration and grow some eggplants in our spare time. Game is created mostly by one man and it has very positive reviews on Steam, and this price is a joy for my eyes. Monster Sanctuary. Remember the times when such side-scrolling platformer games were just simple games where you have to go from a point A to point B and kill or avoid some enemies along the way, like Sonic or Mario. Yeah, someday something happened and platformers started to develop deepness, and Monster Sanctuary is one of those examples when you put a huge interesting game into a 2D side-scrolling setting. So here you'll delve deep into Metroidvania-inspired world, explore the expansive lands, and call upon your your monsters to lend their aid in and out of combat. You can use their skills to fly, ride and brute force your way through environmental puzzles and precise platforming. So basically it's sort of a Pokemon game where you collect various monsters and use them for your own interest and pleasure. They do all the hard work for you and you gain all the benefits, so they are basically your slaves and have no free will of their own. They have to serve their master overlord and never think about returning to nature ever again, because once you enslave them, that's it, they are bound to your will. But somehow here you are still a good guy. Enjoy. Becastled. When I played the game, I was really impressed by the graphics, mechanics and the lightness of gameplay in general. And I do not mean the storage space it takes, which is also ridiculous for a modern game. 1 GB of free space and that's it. I literally didn't expect it to be so tiny.
That's what she said.
Yeah, this is a game that doesn't contain any additional stuff that distracts you from the gameplay itself. Many developers forget the main thing of gaming. Keep it simple, keep it fun. And this is simple, nice and beautiful title. Rise, Son of Rome. Another game with a ridiculous price tag. Rise looks like God of War, Shadow of War and Assassin's Creed smashed together, and that is never a bad thing. He will take on the role of a Roman soldier who joins the army to avenge the slaying of your family and then become a hero who must fight to save the Roman Empire. Well, we all know that the Roman Empire is no more, so spoilers, you failed. But in the end it doesn't really matter what you did or didn't. All it matters is that you had fun by killing hundreds of enemies and did that in satisfying manner. People on Steam are talking that Rise, Son of Rome is really nice, that the game is short, sweet and enjoyable. Very positive reviews left by 24,000 buyers can confirm that with ease. Days Gone. This is an open-world action-adventure game set in a harsh wilderness 2 years after a devastating global pandemic which has made a lot of zombies out of unlucky humans. He will take on the role of a bounty hunter trying to find a reason to live in a land surrounded by death. You will scavenge through abandoned settlements for equipment to craft valuable items and weapons or take your chances with other survivors. Also, as I always say, have you noticed how every single movie, TV show or video game about zombies tries to call them any other name except zombies? Walkers, biters, flesh eaters, crazed ones, infected, creepers, roamers, and so on. Everything except zombies. And in Days Gone, zombies are called freakers. And no, zombie is not a copyrighted word, at least for 30 recent years. And that, although I like this variety, makes no sense, because if the zombie apocalypse actually happened, you would never call your zombie uncle Jonas a walker. You would call zombie Jonas a zombie Jonas. Imagine if you see someone turn into a wolf at night during a full moon, and then you are like,
Ah, I know this creature. It's a howler, otherwise known as a dogman, a furry person, a skin changer.
or you know, when you see a man who drinks blood from the neck of another human.
Ah, I know this as well. It's a sucky bladder, a red liquid thirster, a burner in the sun, a necky biter, the drinker of human juices.
Anyway, Days Gone has very positive reviews on Steam, so if you like zombies, give it a try. So that's it, but don't forget to check on GOG weekly sale as well. You will find many cool and very cheap games there. Check for the link of the sale in the description below. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.